Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. BAKKT is finally here after 2 delays and 13 months of questions. The Intercontinental Exchange backed Bitcoin warehouse and futures contract facilitator is launching on Monday, opening the doors for institutional investors to take position on the cryptocurrency in a federally regulated venue. Trading is set to open at midnight UTC and close at 22 o'clock. For the first time, interested observers will be able to see just how much pent-up demand there is among big money traders for this hotly anticipated service. BAKKT's data feed will be freely available through June of next year, after which it will require a subscription, according to a company frequently asked questions. As often noted, BAKKT's futures will be physically settled, meaning buyers receive Bitcoin at expiration, whereas the futures available since 2017 at the CME Group are cash settled, essentially side bets on the cryptocurrency's price. But what may be most unique about the Intercontinental Exchange's Bitcoin futures contracts is that they expire after a day. According to a daily contract specification, the Bitcoin will be delivered on the second business day after the contract's date. For most commodities, frozen concentrated orange juice, okay, cocoa, and what have you, my favorite sentence, the underlying assets is typically not delivered for at least 30 days, although they also have futures contracts daily for silver and gold as well. While BAKKT is also offering a 30-day Bitcoin futures contract, the one-day version will essentially allow institutions to buy or sell Bitcoin in a way that's more familiar to them than the Helter, is that, am I saying that right? Helter Skelter world of crypto exchanges. Sure, why not? Finally, we're here. We made it. It took a very long time, or at least it seemed like a very long time for this to launch. I assume it was not on the part of the New York Stock Exchange and or the ICE. It probably had to do more with the CFTC and or potentially SEC as well. So, we're here. Apparently, this launched last night. In very early morning for the Asian markets. And as of yet, I believe only not very much has gone on. I assume probably this is going to get more interest as people wake up. One can only assume. So the news that we have right now is that yes, BAKKT has finally officially launched. It's just a matter of seeing exactly what happens. I want to say by the end of this week. I was reading another article and they were talking about that it appears that many people may be relatively cautious when it comes to actually getting into these, simply because it's something brand new. A lot of people are wondering if other people will get into it and if how it will work out for them. Will people make money from it? Obviously, people will make money, but I think because it's something really completely brand new, this is the first ever physically settled Bitcoin futures contract, I think, anywhere in the world. Only time will tell. However, it's very bittersweet isn't the word that I'm looking for. It's like we're finally here. Like you don't really know how to deal with it because we've been waiting for it for over a year. Anyway, I can only logically assume that as the week goes on, we will receive an enormous amount of news about the launch of BAKKT and exactly what's happening and how much money is being traded. And I'm also expecting information about which crypto, I don't want to say crypto exchanges, crypto price websites will also start showing the actual volume that's passing through BAKKT as well. Anyway, without further ado, let us move on. In something that should be still unsurprising to everyone, another cryptocurrency exchange has delisted a slew of privacy coins following recent regulatory requirements from the international body known as the Financial Action Task Force, or the FATF. According to a notice from Korean exchange Upbit, transaction support for Monero, Dash, Zcash, Haven, BitTube, and Pivx will end on Monday, the 30th of September. Upbit announced its investigation of the 6 coins at the beginning of September. The exchange was determining if the privacy coins, met the requirements listed by the FATF guidance issued last June. Generally speaking, privacy coins conduct transactions on public ledgers without exposing an individual's address or identity. Other exchanges have been delisting the coins as well, such as Coinbase and Zcash this summer in the UK, or other Korean exchange OKEX dropping 5 privacy coins earlier this month. I think that was exactly what we spoke about. It had to be no more than a week ago. once again, this isn't even an article that has to be delved deeply into. This is going to continue happening. I know that a lot of people are very much interested in these coins, or rather maybe holding these coins. I've seen a couple of people announce that they are still holding on to these coins. Just be aware, a lot of the prices for these coins have completely slid down. It said recent exchange delistings have been blamed for flailing privacy coin prices. According to Masari, Zcash's price has dropped over 50% since the 1st of July, joined by Monero down near 20% over the same period. We are going to get more of these. The world is getting in line right now. Many cryptocurrency exchanges are afraid of being shut down, and therefore they are doing exactly what governments are saying, or exactly what the Financial Action Task Force has suggested. And therefore, these coins are going to continue to be delisted unless they have some type of an upgrade where they allow transactions that are unshielded. And this is why we've seen a couple of other coins that remain on cryptocurrency websites, or kind of had a stick shaken at them, kind of saying like, get in line or something like that. A lot of these coins were meant or were created as an alternative to Bitcoin, i.e., Bitcoin doesn't have private transactions, therefore we are the private transactions. They're meant to work side by side, if you will, but governments seem to be having none of that. So just be aware. I'm not sure if any of you are actually using Upbit in Korea. I know people sometimes use crypto exchanges on the other side of the world with VPNs. However, just keep in mind, if you continue to hold on to these coins, it probably at some point in the future is going to have to be for your own personal usage and not for actual investing, because these continue to be delisted on a weekly basis. And these are just like the major crypto exchanges that we're hearing about. One can only assume that these smaller exchanges have probably also been sent letters saying, hey, yeah, you got to delist it because we don't like it. Yeah. Next up, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or the CME, is expected to launch Bitcoin options on its futures contracts as soon as the first quarter of 2020. This is according to a recent announcement made by the institution in a press release published on the 20th of September. Regulators must approve the proposal before the CME is able to offer these services. The CME entered the cryptocurrency market back in December 2017 when it started offering Bitcoin futures contracts. Although they were not physically based futures, it allowed many investors to have access to the cryptocurrency market. Now, the leading derivatives marketplace considers there is a growing demand for other investment instruments that would allow investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin as well. Tim McCourt, the global head of equity index and alternative investment products at the CME Group, said, and I do quote, "Based on increasing client demand and robust growth in our Bitcoin futures markets, we believe the launch of options will provide our clients with additional flexibility to trade and hedge their Bitcoin price risk," end quote. The CBOE has also started offering Bitcoin futures contracts. However, the CBOE was not able to deal with a staggering demand for Bitcoin futures, while the CME attracted more and more investors. So I think this is personally a response to what the New York Stock Exchange has been doing. I'm actually quite surprised, and I'll be completely honest with you, that we haven't heard much from Fidelity or NASDAQ, or there was one other major institutional thing as well. It wasn't TD Ameritrade. It was something else. There were a lot of other spaces or places in the world who announced that during this year, and I also believe it was supposed to be around summertime, that they planned on launching cryptocurrency exchanges or cryptocurrency before BAKKT was actually even launched. I can only assume at this point that it's probably a mixture of trepidation isn't the word. I guess maybe a bit of just seeing how the market develops, or trying to get some type of regulatory approval. The CME thus far has kind of been the headliner when it comes to things that are launching against Bitcoin, not like actually against it, but like, derived from it, therefore, derivatives. So like I said, I assume this is in direct response to BAKKT launching their futures, as this information was received around the exact same time. Anyway, we'll see exactly how this develops. I'm interested to see exactly what Bitcoin looks like within a couple of months from now, not even price-wise, like the amount of things that are kind of floating from it. Because what we've seen from institutions is that they get it, but they don't get it. They continuously try to make sure that when they are doing things, that they continuously trade Bitcoin against some type of a fiat and or dollar money based option as opposed to doing the Bitcoin physically itself. This, once again, is why BAKKT is so significant, because of the actual physical Bitcoin being traded. But as of right now, this is the news that we have from the CME. I assume as the year moves on, we will get more news as to exactly what other things are going to be launching, because I don't feel like this is it. I don't feel like with the amount of institutional interest that we've been hearing about over the last couple of months, that there's only going to be another Bitcoin options and only this physical futures from BAKKT. Like, that seems like I feel like stuff is being held back, that maybe they're just waiting for the price of the market to kind of move back up. This was also a situation that we had in 2018 where we received a lot of good news at the beginning of the year, and then everyone kind of stopped releasing news simply because the prices were going down. So maybe we need the prices to kind of go back up once again for there to be a lot more announcements. That's kind of the way that I'm feeling about it. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, a pair of researchers have released the results of a formal verification of Bitcoin's Lightning Network. Lightning is new-ish. Experimental and bugs that could lead to the loss of user funds are still being discovered. But even so, the paper released last month by researchers Agaloskias and Orpheus Litos from the University of Edinburgh. Kaias is also the chief scientist for blockchain firm IOHK Input Output Hong Kong, brought a dose of good news on the underlying security of the nascent payment network. To date, Lightning hasn't been tested mathematically by way of formal security, which is a means of... There's something in my eye. My goodness. Come on, go away. Which is a means of establishing how secure a computer science data idea is with the help of mathematics. The paper, A Composable Security Treatment of the Lightning Network, describes the lack of formal verification for Lightning's code specifications, a dire state of affairs since Lightning is today used to secure real money, at least 8.5 million US dollars. The paper explains, as a result, our treatment delineates exactly how the security guarantees of the protocol depend on the properties of the underlying ledger, end quote. The process by which they did this is known as formal verification, which is, it's a popular, while it, my gosh, sorry. Okay, once again. While it's a popular, no, see, I was right. No, that's not a sentence. It says, while it's a popular. I was like, am I reading that incorrectly? While it's popular in the, I know I was reading that correctly. While it's popular in the cryptocurrency space and helpful for determining the security code, formal security is not done on every code program. Because of the deep knowledge required, it's quite expensive. This may be in response to a couple of days ago, maybe even a week ago, give or take, somewhere around there, we had information that says Lightning Network developers warn of bug that could cause loss of Bitcoin. There was a lot of information when Lightning first launched. I think it was the beginning of, I think it was last year, 2018, that people were finding bugs and people were saying, no, that's FUD, you're lying, there are no bugs in there. There are bugs in everything. Everything that is a computer code, unless it's written by a super hyper intelligent AI, is probably going to have a multitude of bugs. However, the problem is that this can't have bugs in it, simply because Lightning is expected to be, or is still touted as, the way forward for Bitcoin payments, in that in the future, high speed micro payments will happen on top of the Lightning Network. So, one, this isn't the only thing that we've heard about having issues, air quotes, like this. It's happened on every single coin. Every single project at some point has had issues, or people have spoken about the loss of funds, stolen funds, funds lost forever. I'm pretty sure a lot of you will remember IOTA had a brief, like 6-month period where people were looking through the code and people were losing their money, and the wallet wasn't great. I think people were also complaining about Cardano. The point being is that, like I said, I assume that this formal test was done in response to the developers talking about how it may be dangerous, people may be losing their money, and therefore I assume we're going to have other ones as well. There's also been a lot of what do they call, like bug bounties, where pretty much they kind of like a company comes forward and says, look through our code. If you find anything incorrect, we'll give you $5,000, $10,000 per bug. This has been increasing a lot lately. I'm not sure why it didn't increase, about a year and some change ago. However, I think as we see the cryptocurrency market maturing more and more, a lot of companies are starting to worry that if they do release something that is buggy, is faulty, and let's say people completely dive into it and they lose all this money, then who's at fault? And then who starts leaving that coin? Who starts leaving that project? Anyway, so yeah, there was a test. Apparently things are okay, not perfect. I had also, you know, and even just thinking about it, I had also assumed sometime last year, I'm pretty sure a lot of you remember this as well, especially I think because of all the hype that we had around Lightning, that at this point we would have heard more information from institutions talking about actually expanding on and or using the Lightning Network to be able to send payments. I assume based on many tests and probably logically, as we've had information before about the actual developers for Bitcoin and for Lightning actually having contact with heavy institutions as well, that they're probably all working on it together and have probably come to the conclusion that it may not be institutional ready at the moment. Who knows what will get it there, but Lightning is still seen as, at the current moment, the way forward for Bitcoin having worldwide payments. Or rather, it is expected that worldwide people will start adopting what's adopting the Lightning Network as their method of choice for sending payments around the world. Yeah, let's move on. And to kind of finish things off, Emurgo, the company behind the commercial activities of Cardano, has released a new open source code-based library called Tangata Manu. This solution has been developed for third-party developers and enterprises to create their own secure light wallet and explorer for the Cardano ADA cryptocurrency. According to a recent blog post published by Emurgo, they have released this open source code-based library for developers and companies. This would allow them to create light wallets and explorers for Cardano. The development of the solution was based on IOHK's Icarus. Tangata Manu is also compatible with Shelly, the upcoming Cardano update that would improve its decentralization and add delegation and staking pools to the network. This is the third product released by Emurgo, and just a year after releasing the Yoroi wallet and the Siza Cardano blockchain explorer. The main goal is to increase Cardano's adoption around the world and bring value to ADA crypto holders. It is worth pointing out that the final development of Tangata Manu was completed using funds from the Cardano Foundation. So one, this is very cool. A lot of other cryptocurrency projects have done this, but it's nice to see that obviously that this is also open source as well. What a lot of cryptocurrency projects also do is that they create something and they release the code openly. This is why it says it's open source, so that people can also use the same exact technology to be able to create things, i.e. people can create other websites, applications, things on phones where you can store, hold your Cardano, but also integrate it with other systems, and you kind of get the idea. I have a very strange feeling, and don't hold me to this, especially as I don't know the people from IOHK or Emurgo or anything like that. I think that we are very close to seeing Shelly activated. The people from Cardano have been a bit more active than they previously were, or rather, I think we are receiving more news from and about Cardano and ADA and IOHK over the last 3 months than we had previously seen before. Until like around like 2017, there was a very a lull hush period in 2018. One can only assume, once again, this was also because the prices were going down. But however, I think we had information, if I'm not mistaken, that before the end of this year, we are going to see Shelly, which is supposed to be the end-all, greatest, the most amazing thing that's ever happened to Cardano, where it's going to get proof of stake and people can start staking their coins and start making extra money, more decentralization, etc., etc. But the news that we're getting seems to almost directly coincide with Shelly being released. Yeah, kind of cool. Alrighty. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and J, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Milweezy, JR, Mechanic, Strange Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas, Runner with One Piece, One Love, Damien, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch, Chest Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, and yes to Crypto. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the moment, Bitcoin is actually in the red. It is at $9,922, at least at the time of me making this video. I am interested very much to see if the market is going to pick up today. Most of the world is still asleep and or just waking up. I don't assume that the Asian markets would be as interested completely in the launch of BAKKT, and I'm fascinated to see if this is going to have an effect on the market, both with the futures markets and also the actual price of Bitcoin as the day draws on and everyone starts to wake up. However, at the moment, nearly everything is in red. A couple of coins are actually up since I started making the video, because the only thing that was up before was Tether. Now it also appears to be going down. Bcash is up, as is Litecoin. Everything else relatively is in the red or showing signs of going down. I think either way, it's going to be a very, 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 very fascinating week. We waited a very long time for this. Yeah, and I guess that's about it. We'll see exactly where the week takes us. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.